What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name is Nicole and I'm an addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015 and this is my channel where we talk about everything addiction and recovery. We talk about everything maintenance medication related. We talk about everything that goes on in my life, good, bad, and ugly. And we just hang out and have fun and support each other in sobriety. So before we get started, I'm going to get the link to come up here with me. So you guys just hang tight. If you're just now coming on to the stream, go ahead and say hi and put your sobriety date in the comment section. So that way, anybody that's struggling out there and thinks that they can't get sober, they'll see you and your sobriety date and they'll say, wow, if all those people can get sober, then I can too. So I like to see everybody, you know, being active and participating, and it makes the live streams a lot of fun. So let me get this link. Okay. Okay. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, Misty. Hey, Mama. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are here. So I'm going to text a couple of the YouTubers that I talked to over the week and see if they're going to come on and share some crazy stories with us. And I want to go ahead and give a disclaimer at the beginning of this video and a trigger warning. Okay. Tonight, it's Saturday night. All right. And all through the week, Monday through Friday, we do recovery related content. We are learning about coping skills and learning different ways to stay sober and help each other stay sober. And so tonight, we're just going to have a good time. We're going to tell some crazy, stupid war stories and we're going to laugh. Okay. So, trigger warning. And also, I am not doing this because I think it's cool to be on drugs. I am not doing this because I think, because I'm making fun of anybody or I'm making fun of myself or I'm trying to discourage or encourage anybody to go out and get high. That's not what we're about over here on this channel, but we're going to have a good time tonight. Okay. And so one of the things that I love to do when I'm hanging out with other junkies is I love to tell some crazy ass stories about the shit I used to do when I was getting high. And so I figured y'all would want to do that too. So I figured we could do it together. And like I said, this is a channel you don't have to watch. If you start feeling uncomfortable or you're like, I can't handle this, just click off. It's not a big deal. You can catch me on the next one. Okay, so let me get the link and put that in the chat. Hey, Zero Calm. Hey, Cindy. I'm so glad y'all are here. Okay, cool. So my girls in Patreon, will y'all share this to the Patreon Hangouts chat? I will share this on Twitter and Instagram. If any of you guys are in any kind of recovery related Facebook groups, will you guys share this over there to your recovery Facebook groups? So that way, if anybody wants to come over here and join us, they can. So I'm excited. I love to have a good time, you guys. So as you can see, the title is See What Had Happened Was. What had happened was. So let me text Jeff and everybody and see who wants to come on first. Jeff and Michelle and all those people. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys are all having a great Saturday. Today I got to relax and chill out. My husband was home, so Nate and Neil have been just wrestling and being silly and having a good time. It was a good time. And my husband got these new tires on his truck because his tires were bald. So, it wasn't like I wanted to pay for new tires, but we had to do it, because it gets rainy down here a lot, and then you start sliding all over the road. Hey, Dino, what's up? I'm blessed to be able to work from home. I know that's right. Hey, Jungle Forever. Hey, Rosie. How about this? Before everybody gets here, why don't we talk about some things that we're grateful for? Because whenever it's easy to like struggle and not be grateful whenever you're depressed or these times are going hard and everybody's kind of feeling like they're alone. I had made a video earlier because I was reading an article. In fact, I'll read it to you guys, okay? Hey, Chrissy. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. This makes me happy to see you guys here. Let me see. I was reading an article and it was talking about the relapse, people that are relapsing, and it makes me scared, and I know a lot of people. I had gotten a comment and somebody said, well, if they relapse, it's because they wanted to, right? It's just an excuse. And I understand what you mean by that. Like the reservation to use is still there. But then also, you guys, we got to think about the newcomer and the newly sober, the people who are just getting into recovery. And now we're all on lockdown and can't go to a meeting. Like it's really difficult. You remember when you were in your first couple of months of sobriety and it was like, it was just hard. It was hard to pick up the phone and call somebody and be like, hey, I'm struggling. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like just easy. So I don't necessarily think that relapse is because somebody, I just, like I used to feel like that because I wasn't looking at things from a compassionate, understanding point of view. But the longer I stay sober, you guys, and the longer I have a YouTube channel, the more my mind opens to other people's circumstances and other people's situations. We don't know. You don't know what someone else is going through. Rosie says, I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful for all of y'all and my family, my faith, and that good ass chicken broccoli cheese soup I just made. That sounds delicious. Hey, Bobby Lynn, what's up, girl? Hey, hi at last. Hey, Sky. Okay. What did I just put in there? Oh, that was my link. Did I just put my own link in the chat? Why did I do that? I didn't mean to do that. Who's okay, so let me start it out. I guess I'll start it out, you guys. Okay. Drum roll, please. Okay. So I think I pretty much told you guys all the stories of this crazy, stupid shit I've done in my active addiction. You had missed nothing, Merc. We're just getting started. So I hope some people will be able to come, but if not, it'll just be us. No big deal, right? We can handle it. So let me put. I want to make sure that. Okay. Hey, Sam. Okay. So I was just laying on the bed upstairs with Neil, and welcome to everybody that's coming to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I dropped the StreamYards link at the top. If anybody wants to come up and chat and share some stories, come on up. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, okay? But I'll start out with a story time for y'all, okay? Let me think of a story time I haven't told you guys. Because I've told you guys so many stories. Okay, I got a story for y'all. Okay, see what had happened was, this was probably like when I was, it was was it during when I met LD? When was that? That was before I met LD. I was working at Rolando's, okay, this really awesome Mexican restaurant in downtown Hot Springs. And at this time, you guys, it's like in different stages of my life, you guys, what I'll do is I'll go through these, like, it's almost like these phases of what drugs I'm addicted to at that time. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, at this time, I was really bad on IV cocaine. I was like buying so much cocaine, and I I was shooting up a lot of cocaine. And what cocaine would do to me when I would inject it was the same thing that methamphetamine would do. It would make me lose my shit. I would go crazy. I would hallucinate. I would think that people were there that weren't really there. And it was just out of control. Well, I was actually working up. I had a 60 top of people upstairs. So that's 60 people sitting down to eat. They covered the whole patio. Okay. And so I've always been like really good at waiting tables. Like waiting tables and bartending came so natural to me, just like it comes natural to me to pop on here and tell you guys stories and like talk and all that stuff. I was the same way. Like at waiting tables. So it was just like it was like second nature. I was like, and y'all, I could get you to try anything on the menu because I knew the menus backwards and forwards, right? Well, I don't know what had gotten into me. I don't know why I thought that I would be able to go in the bathroom. I had all their food down. Everybody's food and drinks were full. They had just started eating. I had just done refills. I mean, I was on it, right? I thought, what, baby? Okay, you got to go talk to your dad about that. Here, bye. I love you. Okay. I love you, son. You just had pork chops and diarrhea. Pork chops and macaroni and cheese. Okay, so yeah, Coke will make. I mean, I would. Let me tell you. Let me tell you the story. Caliente. So I thought I could do this. I thought I would be able to take like 5 minutes, go to the restroom, which is okay. The patio is upstairs on the side of this mountain, and you have to go down the side of the mountain, go downstairs into the restaurant, and go into the bathroom. I was like, I can run down there real fast. I can shoot this Coke, and then I could go back up, and I'll be like on it. I'll be like, hey, rolling around, twisting, and doing my thing. I went downstairs into the bathroom, you guys, and I did a shot. Okay. And I don't know what happened. All I remember is waking up on the ground beside the toilet bowl. Like I had busted my head on the toilet. It had probably been like 8 or 9 minutes, maybe even longer than that. I had shot that cocaine not knowing, like I hadn't done any out of the bag yet. I had just gotten it from the guy, and I went ahead and got me a big giant good amount, and being greedy, and I dropped myself on the ground. This has happened to me that time and one other time that I'm going to tell you guys about in just a second. So here I am, I'm laying on the toilet, you guys. Like I'm like on the side of the toilet, like my head had hit the toilet. I had this huge knot right here on my head, and like I'm trying to get myself together because I have to go upstairs and wait on this table, right? And then I look at my arm, and it was just like I had blood all over my long johns. Because one thing that I would do was I thought that I was hiding, my use from everybody by wearing long johns underneath my outfit in the dead of the summer. Okay, so I would literally have on like these cute little khaki shorts with a polo shirt that for my, the restaurant name, and then a pair of long sleeves underneath it. So here I have like blood all over the side of my shirt. And so I'm in the bathroom with a pair of scissors cutting these long johns off, so that way I don't have that shirt there that has all that blood on it. I came out of the restroom, you guys, and I went to go. Usually what will happen when if I took a break and I went to the bathroom anyway, I always come straight back and go right to the kitchen, wash my hands, and then see if there's anything that I need to pick up for my tables on the way back up. I must have looked like a ghost. I must have looked like blue in the face or something, because I came into the kitchen and one of the workers' names was Saul, and Saul saw me and he was like, "Oh my God, what the fuck happened to you?" He speaks Spanish, and he's like, "What?" He's just talking to me in Spanish, but not like saying a lot that I could understand, but saying enough that I understood that he was like, "What happened to you?" And he knew that I had a drug problem. And he took me to the side and like kind of made me like calm down. It's like, you need to wash your face and, put a little bit of powder on because I had went straight white, you guys, and it gives me the chills just thinking about it, you guys, because there were several times where I would inject cocaine and then I would lose like so much time because I don't know if my heart would stop or it would just beat so fast that I would like go unconscious. But that time was in public where people could find me in there. So I ended up getting it together. I always got it together and I finished that table. And I'm telling you guys, I got so much money off that table. I think I made like $375 tip off that table. But y'all have to understand it was 60 people in suits and ties. Like they were like lawyers and shit from the state building down the street. And so I was just like, I was so happy to have that table because I knew I was going to get paid that night. So I got that money and what do y'all think I went and did? I went straight back to that same dude I got that pack from and got some more. And from that night on, I went Shay. Yeah. Well, the way it did me was I would get so high that I would freak out. So that time I was able to like sorry guys, I was able to like handle my tables and be okay. But this I left the restaurant that night and I went over to my friend Misty's house. This is horrible. This was a bad time. Some of you guys might have heard this story before. It's the same night. Um I left the house and I left the restaurant and I went straight over to Misty's house. I had that pack of Coke and then her and her boyfriend were over there. So we were all hanging out, getting fucked up together. And I was like, I need a rig. Does anybody have a rig? And nobody had one. All they had was those stupid, y'all know what I'm talking about. Do you know those big giant syringes with a big barrel and the fucking needle on it that's like this thick? It's so thick. That's all they had was those. They were like army medic syringes. Okay. So I was like, okay, it's all right. I can do this. No big deal. My veins are so big. I'll hit it. Be fine. I almost killed myself that night because I took cocaine with a little bit of water, mixed it together in that big ass barrel syringe. And I don't know, I guess I overcompensated and it was so much, you guys, I almost died. I literally did it. And all you heard was me go, and you guys, Chrissy, you've heard the story. I said, ah! Bam, and hit the ground. And my friend and her husband or boyfriend or whatever he was, she could tell you all the story. Maybe one day I'll get her to come on here. They were standing over me and they said my lips were blue. And then all of a sudden I just jumped back up. And all I could think, you guys, in that moment was, holy shit, I want to do that again. That was, whoa. It was like it was so strong. It was the strongest. I've never felt anything like that before in my life. And I was never able to get that feeling ever again. And so I say all this, you guys, and I know these are like crazy, hardcore like stories, but let me share something with you guys. Once I did that, I wanted it so bad to feel that way again. And so I spent years chasing after that high and trying to get that feeling again. And God, I think about it because I'm like kind of getting a little upset about it because I think back to that time and I was just that time when I was on cocaine. It's like I was telling you guys, I would go through these stages, but I was never off drugs altogether. I was always on something. When I was on cocaine, those were some of my lowest points because you know what cocaine did to me, you guys? It made me do anything for drugs. If I couldn't get a bag of dope, I would if you were my dealer, I would beg you. And if you weren't going to go for free, I was going to get it any way I needed to get it. And I'm not proud of that. I'm embarrassed. That makes me feel so ashamed, like that I didn't value my body and value myself enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. but I was desperate. I was desperate, and I wanted that feeling, and I never got that same feeling again, ever. You know, so oh gosh, it was bad. So yeah, that's my story, y'all. What are y'all's stories? Do y'all want to? Any of you guys want to come up here? What do y'all want to talk about? Because you know what, I'm the only consistent queen here on YouTube. I don't know where all my people are at. I don't know where Jeff's at. I don't know where Nick's at. I don't know where Michelle's at. So it's going to be you and me. Hold on, let me get the link. Hold on, guys. Let me get a link, okay? Oh, I know where it's at. It's right here. It's okay, Staten Island. You can call me on the phone. You guys, if you want to, you don't have to. I'll talk to you guys about anything. So, anyways, we'll keep on talking about whatever y'all want to talk about. Nick, come up here with me, fool. I just want you to. You don't have to talk about. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I would like to hear a crazy story. Much love for all the little girls and boys inside who would do whatever for drugs. I know, right, Shay? I listen to this, you guys. There's the StreamYards link if you guys want to come up here. I was watching. Who recommended it? The Netflix show to me, you guys. Nicole, you did. How to Fix a Drug Scandal. Liquid methamphetamine. Can you guys imagine? I mean, I guess it was liquid anyway, because once you get it, the way I did it was like, you understand what I'm saying. But already liquid, like how did they do that? I don't understand. That show, if you guys haven't seen How to Fix a Drug Scandal on Netflix, you need to watch it. It's really good so far. I haven't gotten too far in it, but I've gotten a little bit. Kathleen says, the first time I overdosed, it was not long after my dad passed away, and I was the first one to hit myself and do a bag. Well, I fell out instantly and woke up in the back of the ambulance. Yep. Oh, gosh, that's so scary. Tell me this, you guys. How are all of you guys feeling like with the being at the house and not being able to leave? What up? Hold on. Let me let Nick come on. Hey, Nick.
What's up, guys? Sorry, I'm in the bathroom right now. Can you hear me?
I hear you good.
Okay, good.
So tell me a crazy story. Anything you want to talk about.
Okay. All right. Let me think. Okay, so
how are you doing, first of all, with your recovery and being on lockdown? How's that going?
Okay, so my recovery, to be honest with you, I have not gone to obviously the AA meetings. I haven't been able to go to those. I've been watching like your channel. I've been watching some YouTube content, and I've actually been reading this book called Drop the Rock. Yes. And it is an amazing book. Anyone out there, definitely something to look into. So I've been doing that, and I've been talking to friends and my sponsor, and really I've been trying to work out as much as I can, because it just helps my mind, like getting outside and walking. It's hard not being able to socialize, but I'm making the best of it. I have a pool, so I'm able to go swimming, which is nice. That's a blessing.
I know, right?
So I'm holding in there. That's for sure.
Good. I'm proud of you. I know for me, like I was getting a little bit on edge, so I'm glad that you're doing good. And, I just wanted you to come on and tell a story, because I tell stories all the time. Everybody here has heard mine. So maybe you can tell a story, and then everybody can go over to your channel and subscribe.
Yeah, that would be great. I think I just hit 500 subscribers. So, that's awesome. If anyone would, I think a lot of your subscribers are subscribed to my channel. You brought a lot of people my way, so thank you. Okay, so all right, let's talk about a story. I don't know if I think I've just told my friends about this. Okay, so this was back in like 2012. Let me take you back down the rabbit hole here. And at this point, I was doing Roxy's, Xanax, and I wasn't IVing any drugs. I was snorting them at the time. So anyway, by the way, guys, I'm Nick. been clean and sober for just over 3 years, and recovery is possible. Before I go into this story, so all right, so I'm working. When you were talking about the restaurant business, it made me think of this. So I'm working at Fleming's Steakhouse, which is kind of like a chain, same type of restaurants with I think like Capital Grill and different, but it's like a higher end steakhouse. And I'm a busser and I'm a food runner. At this point, I'm not a server, and so I take a Xanax. I take a 2 milligram Xanax before work, and it was a yellow school bus, just so that people know, and I was probably doing 2 Roxys a day, but I didn't really know the effect of mixing them, like in the intense nod you would get. So I snorted the Roxy, and work. I'm feeling well. Work is going all right. When you talked about that table of 60, okay, this was a table of like 20, and the Roxys were kicking in, and I was feeling good. The Xanax. So the server said, Nick, can you go run 20 glasses of water to the table? I said, no problem. I got it. No problem. So I put it on the tray, like I'm holding it like this. And I got all the waters, and it's in a private room. They're like attorneys or lawyers, just like you were talking about. So I go to the freaking end of the table, and I'm holding the tray, and I start like nodding out, and I'm like, holy like when you're trying to keep your eyes open, like, or when you do, and you're like, oh shit, and I didn't put the tray down, and I had it in my hand, and I went to go put the water on the table. I should have just put it down. I'm such a dumbass, and I go to put it on the table, and then the whole tray tilts, and then I overcompensate, and I dump 20 glasses of water all over this older lady. And she was fucking pissed. And I was like, I snapped too, because my adrenaline really started kicking. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I went straight to the bathroom. I snorted the other Roxy, and then I told the manager, and I got fired.
Listen, I've done the same thing, you guys. Like, I was pretty good with my trays, but once I would take Xanax, it was over. And
oh my gosh,
I would misstep, or I would lean or fall over. Damn.
Yeah, that was very, very embarrassing. Like, that's the only job I've actually ever been fired from. Most of them were no call, no shows, or me just walking out dope sick or not wanting to be around anymore if I didn't have money to get drugs, because I was not going into work. But I don't have too many like crazy embarrassing stories or off the wall stories. I told the one on Derek's channel yesterday. About freaking out on meth. But that was the only one I could really think of.
I want you to tell everybody, since you just told that story about how crazy you were and you were falling over and spilling waters on ladies, tell everybody what your life is like now that you're in recovery.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, today I have just over 3 years. I was addicted to heroin, IV drugs, and today I am a real estate agent. I started a moving company. I have like about 4 employees, and I work the 12 steps. And life is honestly, it's kind of like a dream. It's really surreal, and I look back on it, and seeing the old posts on Facebook, like something will pop up like 4 years ago, and I saw a picture of myself. I was 160 pounds. I'm 230 now.
Your neck was so long when you were so skinny. I don't even know. It was so long. I'm like, how? what the hell? Like, you were just so skinny. It was like, you don't even look, I mean, it looks like you in the face, but like you were just so tiny that it just made
Yeah,
you look like forever long.
yeah. I look like a freaking walking skeleton. But life is honestly, it's a blessing, and I'm so grateful to be where I'm at today. And if people are out there struggling, I'm telling you, if you give it time and you let your brain heal and you work a new routine and let your brain like rewire itself after the years of damage, you do feel normal. I don't have a desire to pick up and use drugs and alcohol anymore. Like, the thoughts may come across sometimes and sometimes in stressful situations, but it's not that. If you're newly sober and you have that constant craving, that will go away, but you have to push yourself and you have to talk to people and you have to like communicate with someone. It can be anyone, and just let them know what you're going through. um, and yeah, life's really good today.
Yeah.
uh,
You got a great life, man. And people, anybody could do that. Like, you were young when you got sober. How old were you when you got sober?
I got sober when I was 23.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, anybody can get their life back together no matter how old they are. But like, 23 years old, you got it turned around. And I'm so happy that you did, because imagine if you had stayed out there, you probably would have died.
Yeah, I was close to that. I mean, I pretty much overdosed and was in the hospital, with stuff all connected to me or whatever. Um, and I would have died. I would have died for sure. Um, I started shooting up drugs though when I was like 18. So I just started so young, 18 or
Yeah.
19. Um, and I just escalated so quickly that I'm glad I was able to catch it younger.
How
And
did you get started on shooting up so young?
oh my gosh, my freaking friends, dude. I had one friend who was a ride or die. We started snorting pills together, and we were on the basketball team together. And I went I went up north for like North Florida for like 7 days to get clean. And when I came back, he's like, "Dude, you gotta try shooting up. It's like you save so much money. You're gonna save so much money. The high is so much better, and you gotta try it. You gotta try it." And I was just, I remember in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do it this one time, see what it's like. I can say I did it, um, and we'll see how it feels. And as soon as I did it in the Walmart parking lot on a Mockley Road in North Naples, it was a 4 milligram Dilaudid, and it was game over. I mean, there was no going back from there, especially once I learned how to do it myself. But that's how I got introduced to it, is from a friend that got introduced to it and just kept talking about it. And you're around everyone else that's doing it, so of course you're gonna try it sooner or later.
Isn't it crazy how, like, when we hear ourselves saying, and now it's like we were thinking that was okay. Like, we thought that was a good thing. Like, you're going to save so much money. Shooting up
Yeah,
is so much better. It's like, what?
it's the most bizarre shit ever. Like, I really can't believe the stuff that I did. I look back on it, but you're so twisted, and you're so lost, and you're in a total different mind, like headspace. It's like you're in another world. um some would say, like, you're kind of like possessed. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
call alcohol spirits because like the spirits or whatever. And it's kind of like something's controlling you, and I 100% believe that. There was stuff that I thought, um I don't want to say I was suicidal like all the time, but there was times when I was like, life would be easier if I was dead and I didn't have to fight this demon. And thinking that you're going to have to fight this demon over and over every day, that part was really scary. But after, a month goes by, 2 months goes by, it gets easier and easier the more time you get. So
I'm
that's
proud of
it.
you, man.
Thanks.
I
You're doing
really do
awesome
appreciate
too.
it. Huh?
Your channel is growing. You're helping a lot of people, and this is like a crucial time. I'm glad you're able to be out there and reach out to as many people as you do. Your channel's really growing. Keep
You
pushing.
know, I was just telling everybody, I was like, you guys know I'm a consistent queen. Like I
Yeah.
don't fuck around when it comes to my channel and being consistent. It's really important to me. It's a priority.
Yeah.
Like these people are a priority. I want to make sure that I'm here when I say I'm going to be here. And I used to not be able to do that. So I'm really grateful that I can do that and be of service to everybody. It helps me out too.
Yeah, and you're helping a ton of people. Just a place for people to go to. And I talked to my friend Rob today, actually, after a while, and he was. I sent him the link, so hopefully he's in the chat right now. I don't know. And he's working on himself and trying to figure out what works best for him. So, we all have to go through that little journey. What works best for some people might not work best for you, but I'm glad I was able to come on. I ate so much Olive Garden before this. No lie, I ate like 10 breadsticks. So I'm so full. But
Go lay down and take a nap.
that's the plan. I love you guys. Thanks for
Love
having
you
me
too.
on.
And everybody's coming over there to subscribe to your channel, okay?
All right, great.
We're
Have
on
a
a
good
mission
night,
to get
guys.
you to 1,000.
That would be awesome. Then I think I could live stream from my phone.
Yes, you could.
Yes. All right, awesome.
Bye. Love you.
See you guys. Peace.
Okay, you guys. I'm glad Nick came on. He's a good guy. Okay. What are y'all doing in here? What y'all saying? Let's see. I'm going to drop a link and see if anybody else wants to come up. Oh, my phone's giving me hell today. So talking to Nick just made me think of all these other things that whenever I worked at a restaurant, you guys, like I was balls to the wall of crazy when I worked for a restaurant. And so actually worked for Olive Garden. Story time. Here I go. Y'all ready? Okay. So I worked for Olive Garden, and this was before I went to prison. So it was like 2004, 2005, something like that. And I worked at Olive Garden, and I hung out with these two guys. They were twins. Their names were James and John, and then their friend Matt. So it was me, James, John, and Matt. And we hung out. We would go everywhere together, you guys. And at this time, just like I told y'all before, I would go through these stages where I would be like really on coke, really on meth, really on ecstasy. Well, at this time, it was the early 2000s, and those pressed ecstasy pills. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. They had the pressed red apples, the pressed like $ ones, the pressed blue dolphins, and I was heavy on them pills. I would buy like 3 or 4 at a time and drop 2 at a time. And I was doing it all the time. Like I would do it every single night when I got off work, and I would be rolling my ass off, just rolling. Have you guys ever seen the movie called Dirty Love with Jenny McCarthy? I'm going to show you guys a clip really fast from that movie, and y'all are going to die. Okay. And then you'll know what I was working with. Okay. All right. Are y'all ready? Okay. Not really. Oh. I can't wait to get you. Now count to 30 and come into the bedroom. This is my future. I pray a large piano falls out of the sky and hits me right now. Why can't drug hallucinations be real? She's panicking. Oh. Yes! Rebecca. Watch, you guys, watch.
Time to go fishing, baby. Touch my bass, Rebecca. Touch my bass! Touch my fucking bass!
Touch my bass! So, okay, now that you've seen that clip, okay, just imagine me with the music pumping, my hair as long as it can go, y'all, and I'm like, shit's kicking. Okay, that was me, like every freaking night on ecstasy, okay? It would be me, James and John, Matt, my sister, a couple of her friends just kicking it. Well, I got this bright idea one night. I had to be in at work at like 4. And I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm just going to roll at work. Fuck it, you know? And so I got a couple of tabs of ecstasy and I went to work and I fucking started rolling my balls off, right? I thought it was going to be so much fun. It was horrible. I was puking my fucking brains out in the toilet, you guys. I don't know if it was because like I got some ecstasy tabs that were like, I don't know. They weren't the normal kind I would get. They made me nauseous and sick. And so I puked a whole bunch. But I had to show you guys that because me and my sister, every time we would get ecstasy, we would fucking dance to that music. You know, it was so crazy. Every time, me and my sister, you guys, we are like really like nostalgic and like we remember lines to movies together and like all that kind of stuff. So when we would get high together, we would basically like act out movies while we were fucked up, you know? Double stacks, yes. And so it was so crazy, you guys. Ecstasy was just like it was a good 2-year phase for me. And here where I live, this guy that I was getting it from, he ended up actually getting killed. He was going to Texas to pick up a bunch of weed and they ended up robbing him and killing him. Yeah, I'm glad that's behind me too, feel good. But it's like I think of these things that bring back these memories, you guys, like certain songs and stuff, and it will just like turn a switch on in my mind, and I'm like, damn, I remember that shit, you know? Captain, you want to come up here and tell us a story? I know you got a good one. Where's Missa at? Missa can come too. Anybody else want to come up here? You don't have to. I understand if y'all are shy. So yeah, that was a crazy time in my life, y'all. I can't get this stupid StreamYards link to link. I've never taken just regular MDMA pills before, so I wouldn't even know what they were like. But the ones that I was taking were like probably something mixed with something. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't anything like high dollar or anything. I think I was paying like some $20. No, not even $20 a pill at that time. Okay, there's the link. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So that was crazy times. I laugh at it now, you guys, because at that point, like I was in my addiction, but it wasn't anything like my addiction was when I moved to Little Rock. When I got here to Little Rock and I got on IV oxy and was shooting meth, it like my whole life went downhill really, really quick. When I was first started out, you guys, it was like just fun. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Let me tell you this. I did have one of my friends actually got what we thought was supposed to be MDMA, and it looked like ice that you would do like methamphetamine ice, but I don't even, it was horrible. I've never had anything like pure MDMA, like for real. Wasn't that crazy though? He had a bass fish, you guys, sticking out of his butt. Shards. Yes, Kenneth. Yes. Oh, okay. So those of you guys that watched me on Lockdown 23 and 1, you guys know the story I told Death about the brownies on the lady's front porch. In that hallucination that I was having before I went outside, to find the brownies on that lady's porch, I had been sitting inside this room in this recliner, right? And I was sitting inside this recliner and I kept looking up at the sky because we were in a trailer, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Those vents that are in the trailer, like the air conditioned vent. I kept looking up there because I could see, y'all are going to make fun of me. I just know this. All I could see was Cy from Duck Dynasty looking out of that vent at me. And I could have swore that he was going to like catapult me from this recliner and go through the top of the trailer out of there. I don't know why I was thinking that. I don't know why I was hallucinating that. I guess I had been watching that Duck Dynasty show or something, but I was just sure that Cy was right up above me, right? I didn't move from that recliner for hours because I was just sitting there staring at Cy. When I finally did get up, I went in the kitchen and then they gave me a Seroquel and it ended up knocking me out for like 5 minutes. And then I got back up and went walking down the road at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's when the police, they found me on that lady's porch, sweeping her porch. I've had the police find me so many times, you guys, because I would just take off going places thinking I was okay, you know. I would think that I was just like gonna be all right. Like, oh, I can just go walking down the road at 3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's gonna hurt me. I'm untouchable, you know. I had a Dutch buddy who was making it in his basement. He was studying chemistry, so his stuff was pretty potent and pure. I bet. You know what? Listen to this. So here where I live in Arkansas, there's a college in Arkadelphia where they busted 2 professors for making methamphetamine in their classrooms. Can you imagine that? In fact, let me see if I can pull up the article. I'm glad I made it too, Sam. Love ya. Hey, girl.
Sup, girl? Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna mute you. Go on with your thing you were showing.
Okay. I was crazy, Sam. And Sam, let me tell you this. I went walking down. Here's the thing. What would happen? See, what had happened was, Sam, I would shoot so much meth and I would not sleep for days. For days. Okay. I was one of those bitches that you would be like, go to sleep already. And I would be over there in the corner like, I would be in everything, you guys. I would be tweaking in books. I would be tweaking in my jewelry. I would be tweaking drawing pictures. I would be tweaking, ripping. Look at one of the things that I did was I would take apart furniture, thinking that I was putting stuff underneath and hiding it, right? So I would open up the cushions. You know how the cushion has that zip on the back of it, and you can pull the cushion out of the cushion cover? I always thought that I had something hidden in there, like I was saving something. So I would pull apart all my furniture or wherever I was at, whoever's furniture it was, and then I would have to put it all back together. It was pretty bad, you guys. I was so bad. One time when I first started using, I stayed the night with this dope cook, and it was back in the day, you guys, when they made red phosphorus dope and anhydrous dope. How many of y'all are from back in the day when they made real dope? So we were in this trailer, right? And we were shucking matches. Have y'all ever had to shuck matches? We were shucking matches, okay, for 5 hours. 5 hours, okay. I mean, and look at me. I know some people, Sam, who would do it and then they would just like stay up for like a little bit, and then they would go to sleep like it was not even a big deal. And I'm like, what? How the hell do you do that? Like, there's no way I'm sleeping. The only way I'm sleeping is if I drop dead. If I drop dead, y'all, because I couldn't stop. It was like, it was crazy, man. But we do, don't we? We have the same glasses. Captain lives in another state, though. We're not related. Let me tell you this, you guys. One time I got a message on my Instagram DMs because this guy was accusing me of being Captain. And I was
What?
like, no.
I don't remember that.
You remember that?
No.
The guy who thought I was you? Tennessee
No.
kid. Tennessee kid.
Oh, after I made that video about him?
Yes.
I
I was like, dude, that is not me.
I totally forgot about that. Oh my God.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I was just heating up dinner. Because my kids are visiting their grandparents, so my husband and I just had leftovers and just chilling like villains.
Tell us a crazy story from when you guys were in active addiction.
I was trying to think of one. Like, should I tell one from my marriage or tell one from my teen years or my early adult years? Because I have quite a plethora of crazy stories.
Well, I know that one with your husband was pretty crazy, where the fire.
Oh my God. Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay. Well, I can't, dude. I can't believe I can laugh about it now, dude. That was like, okay, let me tell the story and then I'll fucking get to it. Okay. Anyway, so husband and I were, on meth and whatever, right? And my husband, like, I've never had that chemical reaction to turn into meth psychosis before. Like, I was listening to you talk about hallucinations and stuff, like, even from the shit back in the 90s, the good shit, or quote unquote good, because nothing's good about it, the strong, right, the more potent stuff, I should say, I would, like, have small hallucinations of, like, shadow people, but I never left this universe with my mind. My mind was always here. But my husband could kind of almost turn into something like Nicole was talking about. Like, he thought people were really here. And he thought that I had Sancho living in the attic. He thought I had Sancho hiding under the bed. He thought I had Sancho up in my mom's apartment. She was, like, harboring men for me or something. He thought that I had GPS'd him. He thought that I put a GPS tracking device in his neck. He thought I put a GPS tracking device on the truck. Mind you, this Silverado, our truck, right, had just been paid off. We'd finally paid it off. It was such a bitchin' truck. I love that truck so much. Yeah. Okay. So I live in LA. It's a small county, but it's densely populated. A lot of bars in LA, okay? And anytime my husband's drug of choices are speed and alcohol, okay? So anytime, like, when my husband used to drink back in the day, he'd disappear and he wouldn't answer the phone. So I'm telling this part of the story and then I'll get back to the Silverado. I would always be able to find him. I don't know why. I just always had, like, a sixth sense of where he'd be. And I always had, like, a certain little operation I would go by, certain places and people to call, and I would put it together and I'd always find him. So anyhow, he was going through the meth psychosis and he left the house. He left me. He packed up his truck and he left with, like, just, like, his clothes, because that's basically all he came with anyway back in the day when we got together. So, and this was in 2016. So this wasn't like an eternity ago.
Right.
This is right before we got completely sober. So he takes off, and I know that, like, he had went and tried to stop at the spot and pick up some dope, and I called there and I was like, did he come by? And he was like, oh, he was just really drunk and I didn't want him, like, because there's fucking criminals doing operations at this place. They didn't want him there all hammered like that. So he left, And they're like, yeah, I think he went out to the bar. So, okay, I go on bar mode. I want to go find him, right? So I'm going to all these different places, and like, because usually I'd narrow it down to like 3 places, right? The first place I checked, he wasn't there. Well, there's like a park and a lagoon. It was in Playa del Marina del Rey area, and it's right by the beach. And there's like a park and a lagoon like behind these couple bars. And so I have my mom drive me down there to these bars, and he wasn't there, right? So then I'm like, you know what? Just drive by the lagoon. He might be in that parking lot, because we used to go to this parking lot when we were homeless and hang out there. So anyhow, I go to the parking lot and I see this car smoldering, and all these people are like videotaping it with their camera. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? Because it was the day after 4th of July.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like maybe like fireworks went bad or something like that. I get closer and I realize it's our Silverado, and I freaking jump out of my mom's car when it's running. I was screaming. Oh my God. I was so freaked out. I was like, is he in there? Like, did he do something and try to like destroy evidence of it? Or like, I was scared. I was
Right.
like, I thought he might have hurt somebody and like threw him in the car and burned it up or something. Like, my imagination was going crazy places. And these ladies in the apartments across the street were like, do you know the person, that owns the truck? And my mom, being a total square, was like, yeah, she does. And I'm like, are you serious, Mom? Stop. Like, no, I don't know the person who probably committed arson and murder. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, so anyways, Mom's like, yeah, that's her husband. Okay. So I go over and talk to the lady. She's like, she's like, we didn't see him, but we have it on videotape, the truck actually burning, because it set off the alarm. And so everybody came out of their apartments. And I was like, what the fuck? So I got to see the video of it burning up. I still don't know where my husband is. Okay. Because there was obviously no one. The fire department had already come extinguish the fire, but they didn't have the tow truck take it because it was so hot.
Damn.
So they let it sit there and smolder and cool off before the tow truck came and got it and take it to salvage, because it was done for. It was quite the fire. Like, there was no fixing it. And
Wow. Why did he do that?
Because he thought I GPS'd the truck.
Do you see what I'm saying, you guys? Like, this is how real, when you have been up on meth for days. Like, okay, remember the girl I told everybody about a month ago? The girl who clawed her own eyes out?
Oh my God, that's so scary, dude.
I mean,
I can imagine it, though.
She had been high on meth, and she thought that if she took her own eyes out, that she would be okay, that she would get away from the whoever's. I don't know. But it's like, that's what it does. It makes us go crazy.
No, he literally thought I GPS'd the truck, and that's why he did it. Because I don't talk to my in-laws, but I was scared that day, and I texted my brother-in-law, and I emailed him the actually, I think I a friend of the family, and I said, get a hold of them and let them know I don't know where he is, and I sent the videotape of the truck burning and all that stuff. Well, it turns out my mother-in-law had picked him up, so he went running after that. Like, he said, he told me later, he said, yeah, I set the fire, and then I changed my mind when I was like 25 feet away from the truck, but then it had already become like, the flames were like way too big. So he just like, he kept going. I changed my mind and figured, we paid for that truck after, all that time. And oh, well. And you know what else was in that truck that he's really bummed out about? He could care less about his tools and all the rest of the shit that was in there, because he's an electrician, and they work in like construction houses and stuff, not just finished houses. He from the early 90s, late 80s, had this starter jacket, like a Raiders jacket. Like, they were really like cool back in the day, and Raiders fans like really liked those jackets, and they were like banned for a while because of gang activity and stuff like that. So it was worth a lot of money.
Starter jackets back in the day.
This Raiders jacket was like a really good one, and it was worth a lot of money, and it burned up in the inferno. So, because if he wouldn't have packed his stuff, trying to leave my ass, it would have been safe. And I always threw that in his face too. See, just don't go running out the door leaving me, and your stuff will be safe.
A couple of guys in the chat are saying that they treated they put their wives through hell when they were out there copping dope, and they feel terrible. And believe me, guys, if we did it, we put our husbands through hell too. So we weren't
my
perfect
husband's
angels.
a different dude. He if I wouldn't have been with him before and known that he wasn't that crazy person, I would have just God, I have to leave this fool. But I knew that wasn't him because I'd been with him before. The speed was really what messed him up bad. Alcohol messed him up too. Don't get me wrong, and put him in tons of dangerous ass situations because he was just like me. He could drink all night long, not even doing stimulants.
Right.
Just straight alcohol. We're like Energizer bunnies. We drink it till the next day. Even without Coke or speed. And tons of dangerous situations come your way on those kinds of nights. But then when he started doing speed, it made him way more functional with the alcohol too. So, and of course, my addict mind, I was doing my own thing because he did not do opiates and I did. I would do opiates and then I'd do a little crystal too. It would balance out my pupils for one thing. I thought that was great. It would make my pin dot pupils normal. You know what I mean? Because between 8-balled pupils and pin dot pupils, it would come somewhere in between.
Right.
I mean, I hated speed too. I messed around with it in high school a little bit, and I didn't do it for 17 years until the FDA made all those crackdowns, and it was hard to get pharmaceuticals. And then I, at that time, didn't have an H Connect. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do this now. It was not, it was and then I realized, do you really have a drug of choice? Nope.
I like everything, and that's what, I
definitely have my favorites, but I'd do anything. Yeah.
Right. I've never said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. If somebody offered me something, I was all there for it, and,
well, except for Sherm, I did. That's the only drug I only tried twice.
I smoked Sherm cigarettes
I hated that shit.
dumped in Sherm. I've tried acid. It was the worst experience of my life. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die.
I used to have a blast on that stuff.
Huh?
I used to have so much fun on that stuff.
Oh, I could do mushrooms, but acid made me good. Acid was I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was horrible. I was so scared. I thought I was going to die for real. It was horrible. It was horrible.
I feel bad saying that though, Nicole. I feel bad saying that because I had so much fun, but because I'm thinking, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. When I messed around with acid and stuff and mushrooms, I was a teenage kid. And the last time I did it was when I was 17. And because I started messing around with that stuff when I was 14. I was pretty young when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I did it though, because I had come to realize that all the acid that I ever messed around with was very weak and speedy. And that's probably the reason why I was able to handle it. Because the last 2 times I did acid, because of course, me being an addict, I'm going to do something twice. I'm not going to do it once. If I don't like it and I do it once, I'm going to try it again.
Just to be
every time. That's why I say Sherm's the only drug I tried twice. I didn't like it because I had to do it one more time. But with the acid, the Grateful Dead had come to LA and done their LA show, and I knew this little Deadhead girl. And she had a bunch of hippies from all over America staying at her house, okay?
Uh-huh.
And they're they had Liquid L and they're putting on sugar cubes, and they also had tabs. And I was like, oh, I want to buy some tabs. So they sold me tabs because I was kind of afraid to do the Liquid L. I was I don't know if I'm ready for all that because I haven't done acid in a year. So I was trying to be mellow, right? I took 3 tabs because that's usually what I would take. I didn't, fuck around and take a half one or something like that. That's stupid, right? So anyways, her house was about 6 blocks from my house, which was a 15-minute, maybe 10-minute walk. And because they're kind of big blocks, which usually in my experience, acid didn't kick in for in 30 minutes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I took the acid at her house and left right away. And there's a little liquor store area by my house that's like right down the block. I got to that liquor store shopping center area and I didn't know my fucking name, dude. Like literally didn't know my name. It was the first experience I'd ever had with like actual hallucinations and it
Uh-huh.
like freaked me out, dude. But I was able to handle it and I had a total party house like on that side of town. Like I lived with my mom, but I also stayed with my grandma a lot and the party house was at my grandma's house and that's where I was going to. Well, no one was really around that night, so I was by myself, just me and my cat, taking bong rips, and I went over to give my cat a kiss, and he bit my face, dude. It freaked me out. Like that's just a little tidbit that I just remembered just now, but I started having a real shitty trip. But turns out I wanted to see if I really didn't like acid. I did it one more time, and it sucked, dude. I had a horrible trip. I went to a rave in East LA. It was horrible.
You know, I think when we were younger, like our bodies could take it. You know, our bodies could, hey Jay, what's up, babe? Our bodies could bounce back from like, doing some
Right.
stupid stuff. It's like now we're old and like I could never go out and do that today. Like I would die. I would
Oh
die.
my God, yeah. I'd
Yeah.
be in the psych ward for sure. I would. I know I would.
Okay. Jerry's coming downstairs. Nate made a balloon and named him Jerry.
Oh, that's cute. He's such a cutie.
Well,
But
thanks for coming on and sharing a story with me. I'm fixing to get off here and go lay down. I love you guys.
I love you too, Nicole. You
Are
got
you
two
done with your
stories out of
video
me.
yet?
I'm almost done with it. I was like
tell
lagging around.
everybody about it before you go. Tell them what you're making a video about.
I'm doing a video on the whole Pinot K-Frog 1090 Jake situation, my opinions on it and whatnot. And some things I kind of clued into that I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that video should be done in like an hour.
If y'all like drama and gossip, go subscribe to Captain Napton's channel and support your girl.
Well, let's not call it drama and gossip. Let's call it commentary. Let's
Commentary.
be fancy. Let's be fucking fancy, okay?
Y'all like commentary, go support Captain Napton.
By the way, I can't see the chat. Hi, everybody. Love y'all.
Bye, ho.
Bye.
Okay, what's up, you guys? When I was 15, I went through a big acid and shrooms phase. I have good memories of it because back then it was all fun and games. Exactly, you guys. So, and that's what we talked about. Remember when we used, okay, so if you guys have been a part of my channel for a long time, last year we were doing like these really in-depth, like big book studies where we were reading the chapter together. And in the big book, it talks about this point where you cross over imaginary line. It's like the line from when you were like having fun and then you cross over into your addiction, right? And so for all of us addicts and alcoholics, we could have started out and it could have been something that we enjoyed doing. It could have been something that was just for fun. And then what happens is you cross over that line and you don't even realize it's happening. And the next time you wake up and you're trying to not do drugs, you can't. It's like you're addicted. And so it happens so quick. It happens so quickly. It's like one day you're not, and the next day you're like having to do this to function. What we'll do, if you guys want to, tomorrow's Sunday, we're going to do a meeting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, just like we did this evening. But tomorrow night, we'll talk about we'll talk about that. We'll talk about going from, it being cool and just like partying on the weekends to that transition into your addiction becoming an addiction. You know what I'm saying? And I'll share with you guys a little bit of when I remember that happened to me, and then you guys can share about when it happened to you. And so it'll be fun, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to make these little group meetings, these support groups, as interactive as possible. I want you guys to like feel comfortable and know that you can share in the chat. Like we're all just kicking back and trying to help each other stay on the right track. It doesn't have to be like professional, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just hanging out and spending some time together, supporting each other. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, like everybody's different, right? And so what I did, you might not have done it. And what you did, I might not have done it. And what I'm doing to stay sober, you might not do. And what you do to stay sober, I might not do. but we're all trying to do the right thing and change our lives. And that's the main point of my channel, is to just show you guys that there's support and that I'm going to be here. Okay. So you guys can count on me. I'm going to be here every night at 7 p.m. just like I told you guys I would be, you know, and it's really important for me to be consistent and follow through, because like I was saying before, hey, thanks, Cece. You didn't have to. I appreciate that 10-piece, girl. Botanical Romance in the house, y'all. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I love you to death. I really appreciate it. You did not have to do that. What was I saying? Damn it, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so, okay, consistency. There was a time in my life, you guys, where I couldn't even get up on time and go to work. You know what I mean? And so if I can come here and do an hour long session with you guys and just chit chat, talk, support each other. What's up, G Dirt? Salute. Thanks so much, bud. I appreciate you stopping in. If we can support each other and hang out and tell crazy story times or talk about recovery, then I'm going to do that for you guys, because I'm sober today. I can get up, I can show up, I can stand up like I said I can, you know, and that's a big deal. It's a big deal for me to be consistent. So anyway, I enjoy doing it. Sometimes I'm tired, but every time I come on here, like today, I was like, oh, I just want to lay in the bed with Neil. And then my husband, because he's off work. And so I was like, I just want to lay in the bed and just cuddle up with my husband. But I was like, you know what, Nicole? Get with it. It's just 1 hour. Get up. Let's do it. Let's hang out. And then I push through, and then we have a great time. You know, it always makes me feel better afterward. You know what I mean? Marcus with the questions. What is SHRM? Embalming fluid. So what they do down here in the South is they take a cigarette and they dip it in SHRM, and then you smoke it, and it makes you go like trip. PCP. Well, why do they say why do they say embalming fluid? Is that the same thing? Or is that something different? Boop, 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 boop. Aw, feel good. You're so sweet. I love you. But okay, so okay, it's the same thing. Okay, good. Sam, you know these things, Sam. I'm gonna have to start coming to you. Sam, we need to get you on the channel to tell some stories. We need to hear your story. You look like you have a good story. Anybody that wants to come up next week and share your experience, strength, and hope. Hey, Courtney, come hit me up on the Instagram on Real Talk Recovery, or you can text me on the Real Talk Recovery phone line, and we can set you guys up to come up and tell your story. You don't have to be a YouTuber or anything like that. Anybody's welcome to come on my channel and share their story. You're shy? Okay, I understand. My son's shy, so I totally understand. Anybody that wants to share their story, it doesn't matter if you've been sober for a month or 20 years. Like, I like to give everybody an opportunity to come up and share their experience, strength, and hope, and share at the different points of recovery that you're at. So, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to be able to relate to you. Okay, so you guys hear my story all the time. And so that's why I'm trying to get, like I said, we had Brian on, who had 10 years sober. Then before that, we had Sean on. And then before that, we had Kaylee on. And so we've had quite a few people on this past week, which was really awesome. But next week, I have openings. Oh, Monday, we're having a guest on Monday. His name is Dirk. He's actually wrote 4 books on recovery. So when he comes on, he'll be able to tell you guys all about that. But that will be a good meet. That will be a good speaker meeting. So I'm loosely calling them speaker meetings, but you know, they're just people coming up here sharing their stories. But yeah, it is public. That's right, you guys. This is a public platform. Anybody can watch it. But if you're not comfortable, just don't come up here, because it is public. But I guess I'll let y'all go now. Thanks for having me, or thanks for letting me hang out with you guys tonight. If y'all are at home and your families are watching, what's up, you guys? Thanks for letting everybody come hang out with me tonight. Thanks, families. Thanks, wives. Thanks, husbands. Thanks, kids. I'll love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here, same place, same time. And then Monday night, same place, same time. So if you guys know anybody that needs to hang out and wants to come kick it with us, invite them over to the channel. Okay? Anytime, you guys. Don't even trip. I love doing this. And if I'm not too tired, I might pop on at like 10 or 11 o'clock tonight and do a meditation like we did last night. Okay? All right. Night, you guys.